Hi everyone, it's Savannah here, and today I wanted to talk to you all about an organisation I used to volunteer for called Nightline. So for those of you who don't know, Nightline is a free listening service that's run by students for students of universities. I don't know if it's spread outside the UK, but there's usually a Nightline at most UK universities now, which is great. It's a listening service a bit like Samaritans, but specifically for students, and it's run for free or by students, so it is a charity as well. Usually if your university in the UK has a Nightline, then you might even have the number to call on the back of your card. You don't have to be in crisis to call Nightline. You can just call it if you've just had a rough day or you just feel like you need someone to talk to. There's so many reasons you can call Nightline. It's not just for if you're on the brink. And with that note, I will mention there's a slight content warning for this video. Obviously with things like Nightline, I will discuss some things surrounding mental health and suicide, and yeah. And also, why am I making this video? So before I joined Nightline as a volunteer, I don't think I ever would have called Nightline. So I'm hoping that by talking about Nightline and sort of my experience volunteering there, it might encourage others who, like me, wouldn't have called Nightline to actually call Nightline. But with that noted, one very important thing in Nightline is confidentiality. It is extremely important. Later I'm going to talk about why confidentiality is so important to Nightline and to people who call Nightline, and how Nightliners uphold this confidentiality. And I don't like saying the word secrecy because it makes it sound like, oh, something exciting to find out. It's not exciting. It can literally be a matter of life and death keeping this confidentiality secure. So if anyone who does work at Nightline or anything like that thinks that I might be, I don't know, if I might be overstepping the line slightly in what I talk about, I am going to be really careful to keep it vague and not go into depth about things to protect that confidentiality. But if anyone thinks that I'm not doing that, then let me know and I can redact some or just take down this video. Whew. And with that out of the way, I've got a notebook of points I want to make because, like I said, I want to be careful about what I say. So my first point I wanted to discuss was why Nightline. Why would someone volunteer for Nightline, and why would you call Nightline? So why you would call it. As I said earlier, you don't have to be in a complete mental health crisis to call Nightline. If you are in one, Nightline can be a very useful tool for you there, but you don't have to be, how do I say, on the brink to call Nightline. It can just be if maybe you've had a bad day, you're a bit down, you need someone to talk to. It's a listening service, and that's what it is. If you need someone to listen, no matter how big or small, if it all just feels like too much that day or you're just feeling a bit lonely, you can call Nightline and there will always be someone there who is happy to listen. And why would you want to volunteer for Nightline? Well, I want to emphasise that volunteering for Nightline, the Nightline volunteers are very, very serious about helping people. And if you want to be a volunteer, you should be serious about helping people. This is not a checklist thing that people do just to tick off on their DOV. It's not something people just do. People are very, very passionate and serious about helping others in Nightline. And that also comes into the confidentiality aspect of it that I discussed earlier. Nightline's also a good way to meet others who you might do shifts with. And I think a particular aspect of Nightline that drew me to it, apart from being able to help others, is the skills that you learn from the training that you do. And I'm not going to talk any more about that, but it's really, really good. Who can volunteer for Nightline? Absolutely anyone. If you're a student at the university, then you can volunteer for Nightline. I think at least at Nottingham, there was 2 recruitment cycles each year, one in sort of autumn, one in spring. So if you miss out on your chance when it in, you know, September when everyone's signing up for stuff, then you can always sign up for it the following spring, at least at Nottingham. So here's the really important bit. Why am I being so careful about what I say? This is to do with confidentiality in Nightline, which is extremely, extremely, extremely important to Nightline. We don't, like, if someone calls up, we don't want you to be worrying that we're gonna be like, oh, there was this person who called up and such, or anything like that. If you call up Nightline, whatever is said between you and the listener is strictly confidential. They will not tell anyone anything you have told them, unless of course it's like a bomb threat or something. Then there is a duty of care there. But it is completely confidential. And the reason why people in Nightline feel so strongly about keeping everything confidential, and the reason why I'm not telling you too much about what it was like when I was volunteering, is because of this confidentiality. It can be a matter of life and death. This is serious. So for example, I could go on camera, I could tell you everything about Nightline, everything that happens, all the stuff, a total expose. But the problem is then, if I did that, I could discourage someone from calling up Nightline who might really, really need a listener in some mental health crisis. Like I said, that could be a matter of life and death. And every Nightliner understands this. You might be wondering, like, oh, surely there's people who go in just to find out all the secrets. But no, everyone who does it is really serious and passionate about it. I think you have to be a Nightliner. And yeah, anything that's said stays strictly confidential. It's really important to keep the anonymity of the Nightliners confidential, which is why I'm only telling you after I've done it, because you can tell people once you've finished volunteering for Nightline, but not during. One of the reasons for keeping Nightliners so anonymous is because we don't want people to think, oh, I would call up Nightline, but what if Sarah's on a shift today and what if she answers the call? I don't want her knowing about all my business. And Nightliner's goal is always you first, to help you, to listen to you. It's never about the Nightliner. It is purely them wanting to help you and listen to you without lecturing you. I think the slogan, at least at Nottingham, is we'll listen, not lecture. Because sometimes you just want to rant or you just want to vent, and you don't want to have to, you know, be told, oh, well, you could have done this. Oh, maybe you should do this. I think you should do this, because you get enough of that from everyone else in life. So I hope I've emphasised the absolute importance of the security and confidentiality involved in being a Nightliner. It's really, really important, which is why I'm struggling so much to talk in this video, because I really don't want to say too much, but I want to at least give you guys a bit of an insight that might encourage you to either volunteer or call Nightline. And that's a nice segue into how does Nightline help people. Nightline helps people by, it can help you feel a bit less lonely, or it can just, like I said, be someone to just there to listen, like a friend who's there to listen when you just need to rant or vent or anything like that. Or it can be more serious as well, someone who's in a really severe mental health crisis. We can help them then. If they need, we can call for an ambulance if someone's in trouble. Or maybe even if you're a woman walking home at night alone, you need someone to stay on the phone with you, you can always call Nightline at that time. If you are unsafe, you can, and you don't know who to ask, oh, can we just stay on the phone while I get home? Nightliners can do that for you, and they can assist you if you need on your way back. And I think that's a really important aspect of Nightline that not many people know, and I really want to emphasize this aspect of Nightline, that you can call them if you're in a tricky situation like that, and we can stay with you on the phone, especially in the light of these spiking incidents and deaths of women happening in the UK right now. I think I want to make sure that you guys know that that is available to you. You don't have to be a woman, you know, you could be anyone, and if you just need someone there, they will be there at night, because Nightline. Okay, so that was like the what, why, where, how, when. So I'm going to talk a bit more about some aspects of what it was like for me as a nightliner, but obviously not too much. So when I started volunteering for Nightline, one aspect of the volunteering that kind of spooked me a bit was doing the shifts for all night from 7 p.m. until 7 a.m. I was a bit like, oh my gosh, is it going to be like, you know, am I going to be exhausted for uni the next day, because we're all uni students? But no, it's not like that at all. I know that on shifts people are able to get some of their uni work done, people are able to sleep, I think 4 to 6 hours of sleep a night people get when they do a shift. And some nights are busier than others, as you can imagine, and some nights are really quiet and you might not even get any calls. I remember when I got my first call on a shift I was doing, and I remember being so scared before I picked up the phone. I was like, oh gosh, I really hope I can help. And yeah, I think, so I had all these nerves before the phone call started, but once I was on the call with the caller, all I could focus on was them. Like, I wasn't actually thinking about my nerves or anything. I was just listening to what they were saying and responding, and I was just, it's like all my mental energy was sort of focused on speaking to the caller, listening to what they had to say, engaging in a dialogue with the caller. And it was, I think the call went well. I hope it does. One thing that goes through my head after putting down a call is always, I hope they're all right. I hope that was good for them. I hope they've left the call feeling better and like they can call Nightline again. I know as well, if you're a woman, you might be worried if Nightline might mean you having to, you know, be out walking by yourself at night. You don't have to. Like I said, the shifts are like 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. That's the opening closing times of Nightline. And those are usually like okay times to be out as a woman, but you can always get in touch with people about it and it can all be sorted for you. We want to make it as easy for Nightliners as possible to just be able to focus on the callers and not have to worry about other things. During your time at Nightline, you might take some difficult calls. This is a sort of given aspect of Nightline, but fortunately there's lots and lots of help within the society for any issues that may arise from that. And as well as that, there is a sort of screening thing first. So if you have a mental health problem or something that might be exacerbated by becoming a nightliner, there is a little bit of screening where having a mental health problem doesn't put you off, doesn't make them rule you out being a nightliner. You absolutely can be a nightliner if you have a mental health issue, and a lot of nightliners do, and they want to become a nightliner because they know how hard it can be to be in those situations, and maybe they call Nightline or they just want to help others. So if you are one such person who has a mental health issue like depression, anxiety that might be exacerbated by being a nightliner, there's lots of support available. Again, there's a sort of, you can have a chat with someone in the team. I can't remember the role exactly or what it is, but there's someone that you can have a chat with before joining Nightline to talk about any issues and if something might worry you, and signposting, all that sort of stuff. So it's meant to be as easy for you to help others as it can be. Callers also don't necessarily call into Nightline. You don't have to actually call Nightline. You can actually use an instant messaging service that we have as well. If you don't like, you know, if you don't want to talk on a phone, or if you're somewhere quiet and you don't want to speak or anything like that. And it's a good instant, I can't talk. And that's also an option for you as well if you feel like you're not able to talk for whatever reason. But yeah, I think that's it. I hope this helped. I hoped everything I said was okay. I hope what I say might encourage you to, if not call up Nightline, but call up a similar helpline like Samaritans, which function essentially the same. In fact, I think Nightline was maybe founded by a Samaritans volunteer. I hope by chatting to you about sort of my experiences and how Nightline works might encourage you to call up Nightline if you need it at your university, or even volunteer or anything like that. And if you're not at university, there's always other great listening services like Samaritans and things, and of course I will pop relevant links in the description for you to access those services if you need. If you have any more questions about Nightline, then pop them in the comments and I'll answer them if I can. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.